Good afternoon to again, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels, and we'll get to the JRC in a moment. First, the disclaimers and the trigger warnings. If you're unfamiliar with the Stop the Shocks campaign or the campaign against the troubled teen industry, pertinent links are right there in the description box for you. So, should you want to dive into that subject on your own, you'll definitely be able to do so. Trigger warning, this channel is marked not for kids for a reason. I do use profanity, and we do speak on dark subjects like Judge Rotenberg Educational Center and Agape Boarding School, in which case you are going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of people with mental health issues and disabled people getting tortured and abused. So if you have a child that is 16 and younger and they are watching this, parental supervision very much advised. All right? Okay. Now, this is just a direct comment, as you can see here, which I'm glad to see here. So let's go ahead and get a look at it here. It was submitted by Anonymous. To whom it may concern. I am a behavior analyst who works with autistic adults and adults with other developmental disabilities. Hello, fellow comrade. It's good to see you. We have far too few working in the trenches with us against this insanity. So every time I see one of my comrades, a fellow person who has worked in the service system, come out against this insanity, come against what's going on, what's happening to Medicaid and Social Security, it's just automatic solidarity. Doesn't matter if they're neurotypical or not, that is my comrade. Ugh. It's always good to see because there's so many bad inside the service system. It's still nice to know by and large there's still a lot of good people inside the service system too, you know, who buck against this insanity. In my work, I have worked with people for whom Judge Rotenberg Center says that only contingent electric skin shock and other aversive stimuli are effective for treating. Such claims are not supported by the science. Thank you. Fear for, let's put it, forever behavior modification is not a thing. Okay? Things that are native to you that are in your factory settings are your factory settings. They're not going to change regardless of what treatment that you do. Okay? Let's start with that. What you can do in that type of situation is figure out the triggers and work from there. Anyone in the service system would tell you the same. You know? When the majority of the rest of the medical model, which has its own issues, is against you, but you're still saying that people don't just understand, just know that you're in a cult. Okay? Even if you believe what you said, it's only natural things need to be challenged, even if they're correct, to make sure they're correct. If you won't allow the challenge, you have to ask yourself why. Just my thoughts on the subject. Let me go ahead and continue. Such claims ignore critical pieces of information, such as what the individual is experiencing internally because of medical issues, or how the stimuli externally impacts them. My peers and I have worked with a variety of cases where self-injury and aggression were very major issues, and using reinforcement approach combined with shaping of behavior proved to be extremely effective at not only decreasing the self-injury and aggression, but also providing critical skills for individuals so they could communicate their needs and wants. Now, there's a difference in doing this. What I know of traditional ABA, and I will admit right up front, I am not an expert on ABA, but what I have been told of it is behavioral replacement, right? Behavioral replacement doesn't address the triggering issue. You don't address a triggering issue and try to replace the behavior. Congratulations, you're about to get a lesson in futility. On the other hand, if you work to find out what's causing that trigger, what's initiating that behavior, and work with an individual to find a better way to deal with that particular trigger, whether it's teaching self-coping skills, whether it's, in my case, getting me with a mental health professional, because there's other things obviously going on that's impacting my diagnosis of autism as well. Whether it's coming because I'm frustrated, I'm trying to communicate to get you all to understand and I can't. You provide something like an assistive communication device. And that will automatically, it's using the trigger, suggesting something that can help ease that particular trigger, which will then automatically and naturally modify the behavior. Now, just like with any human, it's not going to work 100% of the time, any more than it works for neurotypicals 100% of the time. But it leads to more positive and natural changes. And believe me, high school students especially can tell the difference between someone who seemed to replace their whole personality overnight and an individual that they've known their whole lives that is still as weird as they always were. Like me. I didn't change. Didn't want to. Still don't. I am nerdy and weird. My love language is info dumping. Deal with it. But you get what I'm saying. If you address the trigger and successfully find different behaviors to help in regards to that trigger, everything else falls into place naturally. Whereas teaching someone new behaviors without addressing the trigger produces a mask to get people off our backs that even if you're really good at it, deep down people know it's unauthentic and you still got that target on your back. Believe me, if anyone knows, it's me. I've done both. Let me go ahead and continue. The use of electric shock and other aversive stimuli not only is not supported by evidence, it's also a violation of the constitutional rights of individuals that we serve, specifically the Eighth Amendment guaranteeing that citizens and resident aliens will not be subject to cruel and unusual punishment. So quit using the excuse of, well, but they're disabled, as though it excuses it. It doesn't. Nor does changing the terminology. You don't just call it medicine and say, well, obviously that's good enough. It really isn't. Really isn't. And considering the current powder keg our entire planet is in right now, yeah, let's not make that worse. Furthermore, the UN has referred to the use of electric shock as torture. The unfortunate reality is that looking at facilities that have utilized contingent skin shock, we see a pattern of abusive and coercive behaviors towards the people they claim to serve. Preach! Even if skin shock were effective, which it is not, the protection against cruel and unusual punishment is not a suggestion. Thank you! Can somebody get that on a t-shirt or even better, a hoodie for me? I mean, I'll pay for it, but can I get that quote on a hoodie, please? The reality is that the civil rights of the people who are being subject to these tortures are being regularly violated. There is no justification for its continued use, and I wholeheartedly support the ban of contingent skin shock, electroshock, or any other type of aversive behavior from therapeutic settings. Having worked with and having been injured by individuals with extreme behaviors for both self-injurious behavior and aggression, I understand that this sort of thing is distressing and exhausting for all involved. Just because there is a convenient technology that can shock somebody into compliance does not mean that it should be allowed to be used. Thank you! I could be in a meltdown, my brother deck me in the face, it's probably going to stop the meltdown, but I don't see my doctor signing a prescription for it anytime soon. Alright? The solution is developing techniques and tools that will allow for people to be better educated so that we can address these issues without resorting to violations of human rights. Whoever you are, God bless you. You are a badass. And it's pretty simple and straightforward there, isn't it, folks? I'm going to just let that be the final word on it. We're going to close out this video. We don't get very many views on this channel. The few we do tend to get removed from time to time. So if you folks would be so kind to please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget the comments. I definitely would appreciate it. Also, make sure that you are still set up to receive notifications. We do still have other series going on right now, such as the one we are starting in regards to protecting our medical information from folks like, RFK Jr. I do appreciate your time, and as always, folks, we here at Spilling Tea do hope you have a good one. We will see you all next time. Bye-bye, everyone.